Well, hi there. What do we like to do more than even making quilts or baby quilts? Mug rugs. You just can't have enough mug rugs. I think I have 7 already on my YouTube channel, but I want to do another one because this one's so gosh awful cute. It's called, they called it a penny mug rug. I don't know where the name comes from. Don't have a clue, and I don't know who to give credit for this pattern. I've had it for years and years, and it came from someone's blog. But I am so sorry, I don't know who to give credit to. But I did not create it, I'm just making one like it. And this one, it doesn't show you the color scheme or anything, but let me show you the one that I made. I did not round off my corners on this one. Really, I just forgot to do it, but it's cute anyway. But I want to very quickly tell you what you're going to need to make this. This is a 6x6 square. This coral is 5x6. Okay? Then you're going to need 3 circles. One is 3 1/4. One is 2 1/2. And a 1 inch. Now, if you've got an old-timey protractor, you can do circles. If you have anything in your sewing that will give you circles, a template of any kind. I had a template on the pattern, and I printed it 3 times and then cut it out 3 different times to get my circles. Now, like I say, if you can find a jar or anything with these dimensions, 3 1/4, 2 1/2, and 1 inch. Then you're going to need a piece of backing, and they always tell you you need way more than you really need, because this is a finished 10 by 5. 10 inches long and 5 inches wide. But they tell you to cut your backing a 13 by 8 piece. Why, I don't know. If you don't want to waste that much fabric, cut it. You'd be safe in cutting it 12 inches by 7 for sure. And then you're going to need some, I used Wonder Under. Wonder Under is the simplest, and it is easy to work with. And you just put the rough side down on the wrong side and iron it to your fabric. And then peel off, after it's cool, peel off the backing, and then put it down on your piece of fabric that you want. And I'll show you all that in a minute. We're going to make one. But you'll need to cut out your circles, your 3 1/4, 2 1/2, and 1 inch of the Wonder Under. And have those ready. And then you're going to need some binding. And it says that you're going to need 43 inches, I believe, is what it tells me. But I have more than that because I like extra on mine. And I don't know if I have a whole lot of extra, but anyway, I know I have 43 inches. And see, I'm going to show you my color combinations here in just a minute of one that I'm going to make. Because you just want the wildest combinations that you can come up with. My circles are different. I just drew the color from here to make my circles. And I put the coral here because it went with this so good. Now, there's not this color exactly in there, but it goes with it so good that I did this little polka dot. And then the back was just a wild thing, a piece that I had, but it does have all of the colors. And then my binding on there looks different too. So I wanted it to be so cheery and so colorful. And I think I accomplished that. Now I want to show you up close. This is what do you call that stitch? Well, anyway, it's on my machine, and it just does right to the edge and then one stitch over. This is with sulky variegated thread, and I hope you can see how it's different colors. It made it so pretty. I think that just makes the whole thing. So buy you some sulky variegated thread and use it for this project if you have real colorful colors. And I hope you do. I hope you make it as colorful. And this is going to be a joy for somebody to put their coffee cup on and have it for their mug rug every morning when they have their coffee. I think it's going to be pretty special. Okay, I'm going to put the camera down in just a second and show you all of our colors for the one we're going to make, and show you real fast how to whip it out. You can do one of these in an afternoon for sure. Just so simple. So let me get my camera ready and I'll be right back. Okay, here's all what I need for my new one that we're going to make. This is my 6 by 6 inch square. This is my 5 by 6 inch square. We're first going to fuse or do the under. We will put the rough side to the back, press this. Then after it's cooled, peel the paper off, put it down on here approximately in the middle. Do the next with the next circle. Fuse it, take the paper off and put it on. Take the little one, put it on the rough side, fuse it, put it here, and then we can, after we've got them all on, you can press it again and go over all of them. And you do that before we sew these two together, okay? That's the top, it's made. Then this is my batting. That's the same size as my backing, 13 by 8. And I just had this, I couldn't find anything. I used to have something to cut the corners better, but I couldn't find anything. But I think this is going to work when I put it side to side, and then I can just go right around and trim that off. Perfect circle, it's better if it's just impromptu, because if you make perfect everything, it looks too perfect. There it is. Now, I did on both of them, as you can see. I put my bigger piece the same as the centerpiece. But you can do it any way you want to. It doesn't matter. It's yours. Do whatever you want to do. But I think it does look better with the continuity of having the big one the same as the center one. And I didn't necessarily intend for my coral to be the same, but I like the effect of it, that the second one being that coral. I like the way that looks. All right, now I'm going to go to the machine and I'll get my camera ready and show you. And we're going to go around with a blanket stitch, a small blanket stitch. And you have to go pretty slow because you're going around in a circle. But it's the prettiest little stitch ever. And it just makes it. So you have to do it. So I'm going to sew these two together with a 1/4 inch seam. And then we will do our blanket stitch. And our top is done. So I'll be right back. All right, I've got my 2 pieces sewn together, and you press towards your focal pattern, the one that doesn't have the circles. And I have it on a blanket stitch, and just follow that outside line. So you're removing it very slowly. I have to go just pretty darn slow. I know this is going to take a little bit, but that's just what I have to do. Keep your eye on the prize, and you can do it. Once you get into a rhythm, on the bigger piece, you can go around a little bit faster. But on the smaller pieces, you can't go just real fast. And I found another blue that I like in the sulky thread. It's not like the other one, but it's blue and lighter blue, and I don't think it'll be as pretty, but it doesn't take too long to go around. I just want to show you how easy it is to do. Now you can make a bigger one. I have an option of 2 different sizes, but I like the smaller. And I won't do the other 2. Once you see how you do this, you'll have the drift of it. Just remember that to go around the little one, you really have to go slow because it's not as big. And now when you get to the end, just go over your first stitch. And stop. And you can back stitch 1. I don't have my little scissors, so I won't be able to trim this real close, but and it doesn't matter what's in your bobbin, because nobody's going to see that bobbin thread. There it is. Now I'm going to do the other two. And, well, I'm just going to do, if y'all will be patient, I'm just going to do the middle one because I want to show you. Now, you see your needle stopped, and it stops on the outside edge. So line it up on your outside edge of your circle, and you'll know. Then it's going to go to the left. You just have to turn a little more when it's a smaller circle. If you have any threads that, you know, frayed, and you can trim them off with your little tiny scissors when you get through. But don't try to hurry. You want to do a perfect job on this. I mean, this is something you just want to take your time doing. And I know that all of y'all can do this, and I'm sure on every machine is a blanket stitch, and I just feel sure there is. Always go back a stitch. And then now I'll do the middle one, and you don't have to see that, but there's the smaller one. And then we'll go around the middle one, and we're done with this part. So, I shall be right back. I wanted to show you how I rounded my corners. Here's my cup, and it is the same on this. I've got it on the edge here and on the edge here. And where they meet, you draw your line, just right across there. Right like that. There's my line. Then just take your scissors and start at the edge and just round, round, round out your corners. Just like that. See? Pretty neat, huh? And that's all you do to round out corners. You just, really just a little old coffee cup's all you needed. there you have it. That rounding off does make it cuter, doesn't it? It really does. I should have done it on that one. But, like I say, I just got excited and finished it and didn't do it. Forgot about it. But the rounding does make it just perfect. All right. All we've got to do now is do our binding. And you remember, this is 2 1/4 inches, I believe, is what the binding is. I want to make sure that I'm telling you correct. And I don't see where it tells me at all. 2 inch. It's only 2 inches wide. You fold it in half and press it. Okay? And then we're just going to start on the side. Always start on the side. Give yourself a tail. Leave at least that much, okay? And then start sewing about right there. And just ease this in as you go around this corner. Just ease it in. You have to go pretty slow, and you can pull this up once you get there. And pull that up and ease on around the corner. Right there. And go around and around. And when we get to the middle, I'll show you how to join them. Simplest little trick in the world, okay? Then we're through. I'll be right back. Okay, here's how we're going to do our binding. Now, I went all the way around, and it is touch and go around these edges. You really do have to work it in and work it in and work it in. It's you have to go really, really slow. But now we're going to meet our ends. And I have it cut. I just cut that much off of the bottom piece. I call this my bottom piece on the right-hand side. And you take this side and go over it from here. Your binding is 2 inches. So you go 2 inches which is right here. Do you see my 2 inches right there? So I'm just going to eyeball it. One, 2. And I'm going to cut right there. So that all of that is waste. All right, then you do it like you do any binding, any thing that you're joining. And this is pretty, you don't have a whole lot of room to work with this. But you take your piece like this and try to spread it out. Take this piece and go this way. Wrong side and right sides together. Put them together as best you can and pin. I like to just fold mine up like this. Fold it up. And then take a pin. And you've got to hold your mouth just right. And it's not that it's hard, it's just bundlesome. It's just hard to get it to work together. Because you just don't have much room. Then spread this out and pin this side. Then lay it out. And try to do from corner to corner. And draw you a line where you're going to sew. And it is hard to do. I'm not gonna lie to you. And what's wrong is that my needle's in my way. Draw my line to there. Put my needle up here out of the way. Then draw my line up here. And then I'm going to stitch right across there. Just a straight line right across. And I know you can't see my machine, but I'll be just right back. And then when you get it on the machine, you can straighten it out and sew. Not quite as hard to do once you get it on the machine. Take your pins out. And of course we want to cut this off. 1/4 inch, give or take. And you really should try to press it, but for the sake of time, we're not going to press it. That's all you do is sew that down, and you've got your binding done. Very, very simple. Now, if it's a little too big, you can tuck it. You can pull it and tuck it and get it just right. See? That's how you do your binding. Then we're going to turn it over. And I won't take the time to sew it down because I want you to see it finished. You just sew this by hand. I don't like to stitch on the machine because to me it ruins the whole thing. But you just tuck this under just like that and sew it. But that's what your little, I'll show you a final picture of the little mug rug all done. And that's it. And you can press it after you get it sewed. Just cute as a button. I'll be right back with the finished product. Okay, guys, look at the finished product. Is that not precious? Oh, I just love it. I just love it. The binding was turtles, I believe, but you can't tell what it is, but it gives it color and definition, and I'm just gonna love giving that as a gift. Make somebody's day very special. Okay, let's review real fast. 6 by 6 inch focal, they call this the focal print. 5 by 6 is this print. Then you have a 3 1/4, 2 1/2, and a 1-inch circle. You need the same measurements in your Wonder Under. 3 1/4, 2 1/2, and 1 inch. You need a 13 by 8 backing, 13 by 8 batting, 43 inches of 2-inch bias binding. Cut it on the bias. Going around like this, it just makes it better if you'll cut it on the bias. That's it. Do your stitching. Just the cutest project in the world. And now this one, it wasn't rounded. It looks a lot bigger, doesn't it, just because it wasn't rounded. But you can do it either way you want. So that is our latest and greatest mug rug, and I thank you so much for watching, and go make one, okay? God bless. Love you.